Welcome back, guys, to Update Day.
What did I say? Tell them to bring me my money.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
It is about that time. 7.0 has released today, and it is, for lack of a better word, a good and a bad update at the exact same time. It's so many mixed opinions on this update. I certainly cannot say it is the most amazing of updates. We'll just get into it. Also, if the background image is not a sign of what's to come, it's, yeah, nice one wargaming. Just simple. I've already checked the collection books. This is for the normal, like, starter collection book. Nothing for the new, bigger one. So none of these milestones really give you much. It's just kind of portraits and frames, simple portraits and frames. What I do know is that when I did, as far as I know from when I'm logging in today, you do currently need to have the top 100 title, if I remember correctly. I've never seen the requirements of having a league title. If this means that we need to get top 10 in the future, it's going to be kind of annoying, but considering this is for the more casual or newer players, I would not expect people to have top 100 titles. Just me, though. I have a slight feeling I wouldn't expect people would have top 100 titles. This is the same thing, by the way, as the primary. So this is just kind of a load of random stuff. Unlike the previous one, it doesn't require you to have top 100. It just requires you to play the game more, which is to be expected. Premium shop ship updates. I have gone through and checked some of the ships. There are some pretty good ships in there. No new tier 10s. Don't get your hopes up. But there are some pretty good ships. Kronstadt is there. Plymouth is there. ZF6 is there. Some other ships like Bayard is there. What else? That is. For anyone who cares, the tier 6 Spanish cruiser is there. For anyone who cares. Rio de Janeiro is there. There's a lot of good ships in there. Gremiashi's there. Indomitable is there for no good reason. Same with Saipan, but people are going to buy those anyways. And they actually probably would get a better deal buying Saipan from the bundle than actually getting gold to get it. So, new premium shop, tons of new stuff. My recommendations: Plymouth is an immediate recommendation. If you don't have Plymouth and you'd like British light cruisers, Plymouth is an immediate recommendation because Plymouth is a very strong cruiser. ZF6 I can't recommend as easily because it takes a particular player to really enjoy the ship. And then Kronstadt, it's kind of a simple ship because you're just playing Stalingrad but tier 9, but not really. So it's a very simple ship, but it's also not a bad one. It's not the best cruiser tier 9, I don't think any board is, but it certainly is not the worst one either, for that matter. Some of the lower tier ones, they're okay. Oh, I forgot to mention Roma's in the premium shop. Yes, Roma's there. That is also another recommendation if you enjoy battleships. Roma's a very good ship. Not necessarily what I consider the only meta battleship anymore, but it is certainly still good. And of course, if you like French cruisers, like cruisers for the French, Bayard is an amazing pickup. New beginner play tutorial. I've not seen what this looks like. Hopefully it's better than the previous one. So we can only hope. This is just a bunch of the baloney of the new frames and titles. This is for Lunar New Year. This is for St. Patrick's Day. This is a bunch of baloney that no one really cares. Maybe the forged frames actually, but these are a bunch of baloney. New line pan-European destroyers. This is a very intriguing line because it is one of those lines where it doesn't really become, at least based off PC, it doesn't become fundamentally interesting until you get to the higher tiers, because the higher tiers actually get all the fun and gimmick stuff. The lower tiers kind of get left in the dust, although they gave us the sword, so we can't complain too much. This is a legendary destroyer for the Norwegians. This is a W. Besides that, Gdansk, I will be getting this ship. I want to see how it plays, because I have hope for this ship. I think it will be a good ship, but there are some things that might hold it back. So it might be a harder destroyer to play than others. New premium ships, the baloney ships, the fate. This is the mega, but this is the most baloney I've ever seen in my life for this game. Fantasy at its finest. If the dragon was already not a giveaway, these are just Miyokos. These are just Miyokos with the name Eastern Dragon and probably some random gimmick. These are we'll see what they are, but they're Miyokos. This ship exists. I don't know how to pronounce this exactly. Could be Duple, could be Duple. I don't speak French, so I apologize in advance. Renown 44. We already have Renown in the game. Normal, well, Renown before it was 1944. Renown's a pretty decent ship. It's not what I consider the best battleship at tier 6. Repulse is probably still better than Renown. We'll see what Renown 44 brings. I'm interested because this will probably be the Blitzpass ship in March. I'm interested. I'm intrigued, but I don't think it'll be top meta. We have seen last year that British battle cruisers are incredibly good ships. I mean incredibly good ships. These are not ships to mess around with at the moment you get to high tiers. They are very, very strong battleships once you get them down. So Rook is a pretty bland ship, but it's also a pretty good ship at the same time. Renown 44, this could be either a really funny ship, meme worthy almost, or this is going to be a tragedy of a ship. So we'll see. Hampshire, I do not believe it is pronounced Hampshire. I believe it is pronounced Hampshire because it is British. It's just another Miyoko but British. Exactly what we needed after having 2 other Miyokos in the patch notes. I don't know who's excited for Hampshire. It could be a good ship, but I don't have faith in Surrey guns to do well at tier 8. I don't have faith. What is an interesting ship is Illinois. Illinois. This is probably one of the most hyped up battleships to come to Blitz, because in PC it is very well known for its hilarious things that it does. 12 203mm guns, fast shooting. Either this is about to be one of the most hilarious ships of this tier, and one of the most dived with ships, or this is going to be a very hilariously strong ship at tier 9, because it is so many guns and so much DPM. We will see what it is when it does come out, but do know that this is a battleship that I don't expect to be doing Duncan levels of well, but I don't expect it to be doing... What's a bad tier 9 battleship? Sovietsky Soyuz levels of you need like actually like 10 hands to make Sovietsky Soyuz work. Menchong. This is just an A gear. Moving on. Anyways, next ship. This thing. This is just a line. Moving on. I guess an actual ship that matters. Lu Shun. Now, Forrest Sherman is still not come, which is pretty disappointing because at this point they're just trolling me with Forrest Sherman not coming out. Well, however, I will not say no to Lu Shun coming. This is a ship I have been looking forward to. I kind of forgot about it recently because I've been playing other ships, but it's a DD I have been looking forward to. I have hope this will be a good ship, but we'll really have to see because let's just say Pan-Asian destroyers don't have a good history of being well balanced. The last time we had the glory days of Pan-Asian destroyers was... God, it's been 4 years since Pan-Asian destroyers came out. Yeah, 4 years ago was the glory days of Pan Nation Destroyers. That's hard to think about. But, yes. 4 years ago. Almost 4 years ago, I should say. Was the glory days of Pan Nation Destroyers. And they stripped that all away from us because they nerfed them all. Then they released Daring, which was also pretty OP for a time. But moving on. I'm sidetracking. Lucian, I'm excited. I want to see what it is. But just like Gdansk, I want to test it out for myself before I really make a final decision based off what it just has. This is a Nutrishimi, but at tier 10. Hopefully not as bad as Nutrishimi, because Nutrishimi is pretty lackluster for its tier. It's one of the tier 9 destroyers that doesn't really stand out. What does stand out, and what I know is the highlight of this update in all the wrong ways, is the Eagle. You know, when they announced the FDR last year, no one was really excited for what was going to happen to tier 10. And it was about as good as you would imagine. Or as broken as you would imagine. I do not have good feelings for Eagle. Because unlike FDR, which has reasonably World War II-ish timed era planes kind of built after, Eagle has jet planes. And no one likes jet planes when they're well, no one likes jet planes as long as you have missiles, but we don't have missiles in Blitz, so that's gonna be a serious problem. So we're stuck with jet planes again with our dinky World War II AA guns. Yeah, those Bofors dual purpose AA guns from the Swedish are gonna have to do some work to save us against this. Black Rune, Black Betty. I'm not even gonna mention these ships because these are probably the most forgettable ships in this entire update. Maybe Black Vladivostok might have some merit to it because Black Ismail has rapid reload on top of his precising, so this could be a good ship. I'm not saying it will be, I'm saying it could be. Black Rune, though, unless they give this thing some crazy gimmicks, this thing's gonna be a horrendous black ship. It'll need some gimmicks to really be a good ship. Black Vladivostok's already, it's workable, but it's not what I would consider the best tier 8 battleship to be used against a black ship. So, take away from the new ships, Illinois, Lucian, Eagle, probably Renown 44, I'd say. Renown 44 is pretty remarkable. And then, of course, the new line. But the rest of them, Miyoko's, literally no one cares. I mean, this could be a good ship, the Dupla, but does anyone really care at the lower tier? I mean, okay, it could be a good ship, I could be wrong, but based on what I've seen, it's not a remarkable ship. Hampshire, I don't know who asked for this, and then these two are almost as forgettable as these. To the camels of these ships. Split, Katsonis, Gdansk. These are all pretty good looking ships. Well, not pretty. Well, this thing is not pretty, but this is a decently looking well ships. I don't know. I had to double check this for the first time, looking at this when I first saw the patch notes. Why on earth are there Austro-Hungarian flags on non-Austro-Hungarian ships? Please explain to me, Wargaming. Hopefully this doesn't happen in the game, because if this does, we're gonna have problems. I did look at the patch notes in game, and it did say mark calendars for February 27th for when this line comes out. I'm assuming it's the early access date. I'm assuming. If this is the full release date, it'd be interesting, but I'm probably gonna assume it's the early access date. This thing looks like well, if there's anything remarkable about this ship, is that it looks like a floating citadel. It's a walking brick of a citadel. This thing's super high out of the water for cruiser standards. It's very high out of the water for a light cruiser. Renown 44 looks kind of weird. Maybe it's just me, but it looks kind of weird in the industrial camo. You don't really see Renown in industrial camo, so it looks kind of off. Hampshire, yeah, this is what I mean by Miyoko. I mean, I don't know who asked for Hampshire. These British heavy cruisers get kind of more disgusting as time goes on. This is a ship that actually looks good compared to, well, some of these past ones. Lucian, I think there's actually very nice palette of colors. Again, we are with the wrong flag. not denying Taiwan's existence. However, I'm pretty sure in PC it has a Chinese flag. And I mean the Chinese mainland flag. Interesting one, for sure. But I think it looks good. This, in my humble opinion, I think this is by far the best looking camo of the whole update. Sleek red, they managed to make a red camo that doesn't look like it's the Canadian flag. I have to applaud Wargaming. It actually looks pretty good. This is gonna be one of the ships of all time. I think this is gonna be selling very, very well. I think they'll make a lot of money out of this ship. Eagle. Moving on. Tiger 59, the ensemble. They just reworded the Druid and the Hector's camo. This is whatever. We're just gonna move on. The camos, besides really Illinois, they don't really stand out. I mean, maybe this thing, but they really don't stand out compared to other camos. It's kind of a lackluster update for camos. What is interesting is all of these amazing Pan-Asian legendary commanders, and I'm pretty sure only one of these I'm pretty sure only one of these actually existed. Yeah, nice one. Wargaming, historical relevance. Liu Bei, underwater protection expert plus, artillery maintenance expert plus, survivalist plus, torpedo alert plus, extinguisher plus, horizontal protection expert plus. All pretty decent skills. Survivalist plus is a pretty good skill always, and this is also a pretty good skill for better dispersion. They're all kind of passive skills. You don't really notice them majorly in the game until you really play a lot with the commander. Then that's when you start feeling it. If you have nothing better for the Pan-Asian battleships, by all means use this commander, but he's not really what I consider one of the top battleship commanders in the game. Lacking APCS plus or lacking any extraordinary sets of skills kind of puts you at a lower level. It's a middle of the pack legendary commander, I'd say. Good if you have nothing better, but not. It has some skills that stand out, but it's not enough skills to stand out. I again apologize. I mispronounced anything. I believe this is Chow Chow. I could be completely wrong, and I sincerely apologize. Survivalist plus, APCS plus. Immediately, if you have this guy, he's arguably better than this Liu Bei. Arguably better. You still keep the survivability, and you get more damage output. This is almost the perfect commander. Sun Quan. First of all, we're gonna start with a horrendous skill to have. Exploit weakness plus. Unless this is gonna be see, if this is a destroyer, okay, fair play. The next skill is close quarters combat expert plus. Last time I checked, destroyers don't have secondaries, so unless it's brawling ship, which I'm assuming is the copy pasted A gear, unless it's copy pasted A gear has some crazy HE shells that cause tons of fires, I don't think exploit weakness is the play. Back to the fantasy dragons of the Miyokos. Fire Supremacy plus, John Hunter plus. Fire Supremacy plus is actually a pretty good commander skill. For the Pan-Asians, destroyers and cruisers. Because, you just want to get that third, torpedo relay booster. Southern Dragon. This, I think, is one of the most overlooked commanders. Not because he's particularly, the best epic commander to ever come out, but because he actually gives he actually gives a skill that the Pan-Asian ships have actually been lacking, that I'm surprised have been lacking for a while. Battlefield Support Plus. Now, what does this mean? Now, for the cruisers, this kind of means nothing, because most, if not none, most, if not all, don't have a radar. There might be one that has a radar. And none of the battleships have a radar. The destroyers, though, that's where it gets interesting. Yu Yang could get a third radar here. Now, a third radar for Yu Yang is cool until you realize that it's only radar level 1, so you have 6 minutes of cooldown. So you have to be using it by the 6-minute mark for first radar, which is kind of counterproductive unless the enemy team has something really fast pushing you. However, for the Xian Yang and the Chong Mu, this will be a fantastic commander for those two. What made Xian Yang so good in comp was that Xian Yang had a radar, something that not many tier destroyers had at the time. And then they added destroyers at tier 8 that have radar, and now you can play destroyer tier 8 with Swirsky that has 4 radars. Orkin. Moving on. So standing kind of got left in the dust in terms of the radar department. Now you can use a Battlefield Support Plus commander. So now you can get that second radar. This is actually really, really cool for the ship because I've been waiting for a while for them to have a radar skill for any of these Pan Asian destroyers. So if you do have a Xianyang and you are, feeling that you lack a radar, this will be a good commander, a very good commander. And then immeasurable plus, it's a good skill. It's an overall decent commander. I think it's kind of underrated for what it is supposed to be, but it's also, I shouldn't make it out to be, god tier levels of commander, because getting an extra radar is kind of useful, but only for like a select 2 ships in the line, so keep that in mind. Brady Mordov, this is, if I can scroll all the way up. For this guy, he probably will come over now 44 or Hampshire. So engine overload plus, adrenaline rush plus. Adrenaline rush plus is actually a pretty good skill. Engine overload plus, you don't really see it on British ships besides the battleships, battle cruisers. So yeah, he's a good commander, but not really an outstanding one. Nerfing respawn. This has actually been a pretty hot topic for people. Nerfing respawn rewards. It has its downsides, which is, of course, losing 10% of your bonus. Respawn is kind of a known this threat to this point that it is the silver and XP farming mode because you can get such high damage games so consistently by just throwing yourself at the enemy. 10% will be a pretty noticeable decrease, but if they give us tier 10 respawn like they've been hinting at, with the fact that they have their main reason for what I've found, their main reason for what they've said, is that it's because it's too high of rewards that they had to balance out the economy. So what they've done is they've nerfed it a bit so that we can then get higher tier respawn. If this means more consistent tier 9 respawn, and if this means tier 10 respawn, by all means, I'll take this. I have nothing against higher tier respawn if that means taking away 10% of our gains. That is a trade-off that is worth taking, in my opinion. Moving on from that, daily login rewards update. Sure. Okay. Daily login rewards update. We'll see. And in February. Interesting. There are more shift specifics, which is always good. These are some pretty lackluster bug fixes. Bug fixes need to be improved. There's a lot of bug fixes that could probably be improved, but one of them being bots. I'm gonna say this right now while I still can. Over on the topic, I would willingly wait a whole update for them to fix bots, but it is what it is. I mean, people played. I mean, this is a bug, of course, they have to fix. But like, the people play Congress and shocked. Space camels, yes, we have space bullets that actually work. Why does Edinburgh space camel still not get tracers? Moving on, and then they kind of just fix some whatever stuff. AA rework. I'm not going to bring the spreadsheet because this is the link to the spreadsheet. I'm just going to say this right now. None of these buffs are pretty relevant. They help a bit. Some of these ships, especially some of the French cruisers, they do have the French cruisers have a statistically, percentage-wise, some of the best boosts of any AA buff in the game. The problem is that these AA buffs do nothing for said French cruisers because their AA was that bad. So, nice AA buffs. I'm not gonna show a spreadsheet because it's not worth my time, to be honest with you. I might show a screenshot of it, but this is a pretty disappointing AA rework. They do state that they continue to improve the player experience by updating both big and small caliber A systems. Spoiler alert, they actually nerfed the Endodox AA. I don't know why they did that. This is the second time now where they've nerfed something's AA. Who asked to nerf it? I don't know. There should never be an AA nerf if you ask me. Hopefully, this quote-unquote overhaul will mean changes to CV mechanics, updates to AA mechanics in the future, question mark? We'll have to see in the near future. But besides the AE rework, this was actually the most hype part about this update, and then it was probably the most disappointing part of this whole update, which was the AE rework. Oh shoot, the AE rework doesn't do anything. How nice. Really appreciate it. This update, this is why I said this was a good and a bad update, because on one hand, there were some pretty interesting ships here, and a whole new line, which is always good to see. And you know, they fixed up the game a bit. They've been focusing on the game itself, less the ships, more the game, which is always important. You can always add all these new ships, but if you don't focus on the game, it eventually become a problem. So I can understand why they've been focusing on the game itself, and also why you don't see ship balancing here. Why you focus on the game itself and not the ships itself all the time. It's a small developer team, well, smaller developer team compared to the other games, so it's understandable. But where's the ship balancing? Yeah, we'll have to wait until the next update, I guess, or whatever update they have ship balancing. But I can already assume that because they haven't done much ship balancing in the past 2 updates, I can for sure assume there will be some pretty massive ship balancing update changes whenever the time comes for it. Because there are some ships that definitely need buffs that have come out in the past, I don't know, 4 months. So we'll have to see. But as of right now, it's a decent update. Premium shop update was pretty cool. Definitely recommend some of those ships. Plymouth, ZF6 if you really want ZF6, Kronstadt, Bayard, Roma. So it's pretty good. Those are my recommendations. My first recommendations I would give. I don't know if there's any others, but Gdansk, I am very excited for it. Lucian, expect a meme shun video when I get that ship. Just gonna set that out right now. Meme non happened. Meme yang happened. Meme young. Meme yang. Meme shun will happen eventually. Do not worry. I have that planned. I also have another video planned. I haven't gotten around to. I have a lot of backed up gameplay that I've been waiting to release. Well, release. I should say edit, because I haven't even begun the editing process that much yet. But I do have that video planned. Hopefully, eventually. It'll be a longer one. I don't want to guarantee a time date for when the next meme video come out, because I can't guarantee a time date, but I will try my best. A ton to back up with gameplay. Let's just say it involves 3 different classes, maybe 4 if I really feel like it. So yeah, that is the update video. I very much so appreciate you hearing me talk about a pretty lackluster update. I've managed to make this a longer video than it should be. Update should be live today, so I've already checked that out a bit. It's an interesting update. Again, the most interesting part of the update currently for me is probably the premium shop changes, but that's about it. There also is 10% discount for the shipyard, not shipyard. 10% discount on the premium shop. So yeah, bless your wallet when you're getting those ships. So yeah, I think that's all. I think that's about it. We're gonna end it on Lucian in the back, because this is a beautiful looking ship. Actually, we'll have Illinois in the image too. I hope you enjoyed, and I will be seeing you all next time.